Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Kingmaker here. I put this guide together not too long ago before I had entered into the coaching realm. A lot of work went into that before I had started doing any of the analysis. I've reached out to multiple coaches who coach teams on League of Legends. We're talking challenger teams, competitive teams for countries. So with that being said, I titled this What It Takes to Climb. And what does it take to climb the ranked ladder in Wild Rift? Dedication, patience, focus, taking the game seriously. It's as much as it's a game, it is also a sport, especially when you look at climbing and elevating yourself and your skills. We must first ask ourselves, why do we want to climb? Do we want to just play with friends? If so, there's PvP. That's free. There's nothing that is going to hold you back from testing out dumb things or just having fun. There's no risk to playing PvP. Do you want to just have a casual, fun experience? Then ranked isn't the place for that. That's what ARAM's for. Ranked is for players who want to improve their skills and actually strive to be a better player. And if you don't take steps to improve, please just don't play ranked. You're going to ruin the experience for the people who do. It's acceptable to not be great at something, but what's unacceptable is to remain ignorant. So what we really need to do is we need to improve. And this is more targeted towards our lower elo players, gold, silver, maybe. It's hard to not get out of silver, in my opinion, but that's because I have a lot more experience, I'm assuming, playing League of Legends. But we need to practice, which is 50% of the time. You don't play a professional sport or a sport on a team and not practice. You don't show up to basketball shooting hoops and not have been on the court running drills with everybody else. So I initially actually had a longer time. I want to see 10 minutes of training with the practice tool before the first game of the day. Give me 5 minutes clearing the jungle or CSing, just so you can understand how to mechanically move your champion to obtain the most important resource that you have. So give me 5 minutes of that and give me 5 minutes of the mechanics with the training dummy. This is for people who need to learn combos. Maybe you're a jungler and you want to play Lee Sin and you need to learn to flash kick. Definitely practice and improve on that. And give me another 10 minutes of the same thing before and after, or at the end of the night. 5 minutes of training on jungle clear and creep score, and 5 minutes of mechanics. Also, I would like to see you play 2 PvP games before each rank. The first game in the off role and the second game in your main role. The idea behind this is that we need to practice our fundamentals before we can take our shots. Warming up before game is always the way to go, and PvP is a non-stressful environment to practice. Warm up with your off role first so that you can be focused on your main role, and putting more time into practicing at the end of the night will allow you to recall any mistakes or changes that you'd like to make the next day when you're fresh and ready to practice again. This is also where we work on implementing our theory and optimization. Moving on to our next section, we have theory. Game theory is going to be our research into the game. It'll be watching videos about champions or play testing builds like in co-op versus AI. This way you don't really have anything to lose. It's even less loss than a PvP. Maybe you don't want to do co-op versus AI because you don't like the bots, then just go to a PvP game and test out some dumb builds or something. This is all about acquiring knowledge that we previously didn't have. Also, this ties into the 3 deficits, and shout out to Coach Hazel. He is a League of Legends professional coach. I think he's playing, or he coaches currently for the Denmark team, Netherlands, one of those. Don't quote me on that. But he talks about the 3 deficits. The first one being information. So vision, can we see the enemy or the objective? What do our champions do? Do we know how to execute X champion in X situation? Whether we be under pressure in a team fight, can we utilize our champions' kits to their full ability? Map pressure, when do we walk forward on the map versus falling back? Do we step forward when the enemy is low on health and we zone them off the wave so that they miss gold? Or when do we freeze or shove the wave? Moving on from there, we've got resources. Do we have a deficit of resource? Gold. Primarily, gold acquired from last hitting minions is one of the most valuable resources in the game. Are we at a deficit of health and mana? Wild Rift is a game of attrition, in my opinion. If we don't use our health and mana as a resource, then we're losing out on an advantage. So this is something that LS talks a lot about, is that he wants you to use your health and mana as a resource. So expend them. If you're going back to base with full health and full mana, what's the point of being in lane in the first place? Use it to poke out your enemy, use it to fight, use it to engage, trade. And the last resource is going to be experience. This determines who wins the lane most of the time. For the jungle, it affects your smite level, or smite strength based upon your level. For the dual lane, it affects your level 2 or 3 power spikes. For your mid and top, it's going to affect your level 5 power spike and overall matchup outcome. So whoever hits their ultimate first, whether maybe it's a Zed versus somebody else who's a squishy champion, and Zed hits level 5 first, he gets his ultimate and gets the first kill, then he starts snowballing. So that's your resource deficit. And last but not least, we're going to have a deficit of your mechanics. And the first one's going to be execution. Can we execute our champions in win conditions when we need them to, or need to? And this kind of goes back up to information. Do we have the right information for X champion to be able to execute it in X situation? And farming, last hitting, and it's because it's the only guaranteed source of income. Gold is not going to be guaranteed from kills. And this goes back up to our practice, where we're going to practice for 5 minutes, last hitting or clearing the jungle. Moving on, we have optimization. That's going to be about 20% worth, just like your game theory was. This is going to be knowing how to optimize your gameplay. You can watch the videos of other people all day long, but not fix a single mistake in our gameplay. Instead, try focusing on watching your own playbacks to see your own errors. By doing this, we're going to see how often we mess up or misplay, and we are going to negatively reinforce our Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Moving on, we have optimization, which is going to be about 20% of the grade, and this is knowing how to optimize your gameplay, and it's very important. We can watch videos of other people all day long and not fix a single mistake in our own gameplay. I'd say instead try focusing on watching your own playbacks to see your own errors. This is called negative reinforcement. By you seeing every single mistake you made over and over and over again, you're going to want to not make those mistakes. So you're going to become very passionate in making sure you don't repeat them. And last but not least, we have break, which is going to be 10% of the time, but it's probably the most important other than practice. It's a small part of the time, but it's an important one. After each game, take 5 minutes to put the game down, allowing your body and mind to relax and reset. Though we shouldn't just copy what the professionals do every time, do this one. It's important and it should be implemented. If the professionals walk off stage and reset, then we should too. This allows for us to process what has just happened, whether it's a win or a loss, and ask ourselves what went right or wrong. So take a break. Every time you play a game, take a break. It's very important. Go get some water, get up, go pet the dog. Just get out of a bad mental, especially if you lost the game. Give your brain a chance to reset. Give your muscles a second for the muscle memory to reset. With that being said, I hope this information was valuable to you. If you found value out of it, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Also like and share the video. Give some value back to me for coming up with this and helping out. So definitely appreciate it. We'll see you on the Rift.